My name is Joe Dombrowski. Jay Worthington Farnsworth is not here this evening. Sitting in is a man who has a very important night in his own right. Benjamin C. Steele, the representation of LeRusso. We got a lot to talk about. Your night may determine your fate for a long, long time to come. But before that, we have a stacked card top to bottom.
You know, we really do. And Joe, do I look worried to you at all?
You don't.
I have a lot of confidence. Confidence, much like Bryan Bowers.
Well, Bryan Bowers made a lot of controversial comments a month ago at IWC Wipeout, felt that he's the man that deserves to have the attention on him, not some of the so-called golden boys of IWC, like Darren Demarco, for instance. From out of the darkness and into the light, the masked Noctus makes his Court Time Sports Center one-on-one debut for the IWC. A young man who's shown a lot of promise at the ICWA Iron City Wrestling Academy. We've seen him pop up a time or two on some of our road shows, and he has earned the right to prove himself, or at least attempt to, here at IWC's Cage Fury 2016, one of the biggest events on the IWC calendar year.
Well, he's also got to be a fairly ugly looking dude because he's wearing a mask.
And there's an ugly disposition from Bryan Bowers, who's shown no respect toward anybody and has had a massive chip on his shoulder since coming back from IWC. Bowers has stated that, you know what? As the fans start chanting, "Crying Bryan," Bryan has had a lot of very outlandish things to say on social media. He's complained about his paydays. He's complained about his spot on the card. He's complained about the fact that he was has stated that, you know what? As the fans start chanting, "Crying Bryan," Bryan has had a lot of very outlandish things to say on social media. He's complained about his paydays. He's complained about his spot on the card. He's complained about the fact that he was in IWC from nearly the beginning of his career, won his first.
And speaking of disrespect from Noctus right there, and you know, how can you blame Bryan Bowers? He knows how good he is. He was trained by Lance Storm. He's the new hope, and not only that, Joe, he is so good. He is really good, and I know a thing or two about talent.
Well, Noctus with a nice takeover there. Noctus has a decorated past, from what I understand. Quick roll-up here, but Bowers into the ropes. Noctus served our country. He was a soldier in the U.S. Army, overseas, fought a lot of battle, and he saw a lot of very ugly things over there. He's obviously had to be on the front lines for a lot of violent altercations, saw a lot of his brothers fall by the wayside as well. And Noctus is somebody who has seen all those ugly things and has seen so much death and destruction. He's come back and reinvented himself. He doesn't want to destroy, he wants to reform. And I think Noctus looks at Bowers' attitude and thinks that Noctus can maybe sway that attitude more to the positive, maybe help Bowers realize how good he has it.
Well, Joe, here's the thing that matters in professional wrestling. In this sport, there's one thing that matters. What matters is the W, the win. And when you win, you get more money. You should get those opportunities. Now, yes, I know everybody has to start from the bottom and work their way up. But when you have the pedigree of a Bryan Bowers, don't you think, in your expertise, that he should get more opportunities than, say, a Noctus?
Well, he shouldn't get preferential treatment. It's all about wins and losses and proving yourself. I'll certainly give you that, as Noctus attempts to right now. A couple of knife-edge chops nicely done, showing some good intensity. But I'll make this point about Bowers. Last time we saw him was a month ago at Wipeout. He quit the company. He said he was never coming back. Heel kick into the cover. He said he would not come back until he was paid more. And I know IWC does not work in a way where you kvetch and complain and you get more money for it. So, but Bowers is back here in the ring. So you tell me, what does that say about his word? He's a crybaby. He's the equivalent of a 5-year-old kid that says he's going to hold his breath till he gets his way.
Well, wait a minute. Are you the accountant of IWC? How do you know he didn't get paid more? Maybe he's an expert negotiator.
Because why would you reward somebody for being a problem?
Well, it's all about, Joe, this is America. That's kind of how things go. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. And that squeaky wheel right down there that's taking it to Noctus, by the way, wants all the grease, the money, and the cheese. Cheese means money, by the way. I know you're not hip.
Well, Bowers feels that he is the best in this locker room, past, present, or future, up and down, anywhere on the card. I mean, that's a lot of praise for himself. He puts himself above DJC, Dylan Bostic, hell, even your guy Chris LeRusso. I mean, can you agree with Bowers to the extent that he deserves all of this and then some at the expense of other guys who have been here consistently and worked hard, as Bowers for the cover finds too?
Well, perhaps not a Chris LeRusso or a Bulk Nasty, but he's definitely the upper echelon of talent. What do you have against him?
Because he's got an attitude problem. He came in here from day one, very respectful, very quiet, but I'll tell you what, present day, the past couple months, he's been loud, brash, nothing but complain, nothing but alienate people, nothing but try to put his own interests forward at the expense of guys like Darren Canero, guys like Andrew Palace, who have worked month in and month out. And if Bowers wants to earn something, you win matches. You come back time, and you don't go somewhere else and complain about it. You stay here through good times, through bad times, through wins and losses. And Bowers decided to sit at home on his computer and cry about it the past couple months and threaten to take his ball and go home. That's not what I want in a competitor.
You're fired up.
I'm
fired up tonight.
Because Bowers is fired up, and I don't appreciate some of the things he said about these fans or this company. I've been in this company for over 13 years now, and I've seen many come and many go. And Bowers may go to sleep thanks to Noctus, but nice counter. I will never discredit or undermine the athletic prowess of Bowers. The fact is, he came into this company 5 or 7 matches into his career and wanted the world handed to him, and when it didn't happen, he got bitter. And that's why he's come back the way he is today. And I think there's a little bit more to be said about paying dues.
You know, the only people that complain about paying dues are the ones that had to pay the dues. Case in point, Chris LeRusso walked in here, a guy of his pedigree, and took it right to Andrew Palace. Why can't Bryan Bowers do the same thing? Why can't he get those opportunities? Let me tell you, if I were guiding his career, which when he hears this, I'm certainly interested in doing, he would be at the top of the card.
Noctus gets a foot up. Well, Justin Plummer, IWC management, told Bowers, hook in the leg for 2. Noctus nearly got upset. He told Bowers exactly what basically I just illustrated, is if you want something, you're going to have to earn it. And Bowers has to start from the bottom and work his way up.
What do they tell you when you're younger? You can do anything you can put your mind to. You can even run for president if you want.
Oh, what a spine buster.
Well, he's not going to be running for anything if he can't get control of Noctus here.
He could be running for the exit. And off comes the elbow pad.
I think I've seen this before.
I think Bowers has too. And the stunner into that Canadian crab. He was taught that move by Lance Storm. And Noctus counters in an arm breaker.
And we can only hope he was taught counters as well.
Bowers gets barely a toe on the rope, and that could have been, again, history. Imagine the egg on Bowers' face, how he would react if he loses this matchup, step 1 of his journey.
Oh, he's fighting it. He's trying to get him over. Oh, there we go. There we go. Look at that pressure right on the back of the neck. Kick him. Kick him.
Hey, oh, well, Noctus no choice but to pass out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest by submission, the new host, Bryan Bowers.
Well, through all this matchup and all of our differences, you can't argue that Canadian crab is an absolutely lethal submission maneuver. And if he can trap you center of the ring and get the torque and the leverage he needs, he's got you beaten. Bowers not even stepping through the curtain. He's walking right out the front door. Bowers he may have quit again. That music always just sends chills and makes me cringe.
I'm excited. Are you excited? Well, I can tell by that look.
Team LaVey World Tour Alliance.
The Team LaVey Platinum World Tour Alliance.
That's hashtag Platinum World Tour.
I think we're getting that correct. Team LaVey Platinum World Tour Alliance. That's a mouthful.
You know what?
Of a T-shirt.
You know what time it is? I think it's going to be twerk time coming up.
Is that so?
It is. Anytime Raylyn, and might I add, my good personal friend Justin LaBar, it is twerk time.
I do not want to see LaVey twerk ever again. To be fair, I don't really want to see LaVey ever again, but I'll take what I can get.
You are not a nice person. I am very happy to see LaBar. I'm happy to see Wardlow. Happy to see Bostic and Raylyn.
Tonight, careers are on the line. Dylan Bostic and DJZ, IWC Championship, Steel Cage. The fate of IWC will drastically change one way or another. Will this be the last time we see the Alliance en masse?
These shoes are worth more than the female company you've been having, buddy, so why don't you shut up? You know, this really seems like deja vu. It just seemed like a month ago I was standing in this ring with this beautiful group of people, talking to this other group of people, telling you how we were going to clean sweep, and what do you know? We did. We dominated last month. The man was wearing his name. The hottest you're going to find anywhere around Miss Raylyn McBride. And finally, your next IWC World Champion and the man who is going to eliminate the DJZ from IWC. Give it up to the Justin Bieber of professional wrestling, Dylan Bostic.
They went 3 for 3 a month ago. That's 100% true. I can't deny it.
Hey, boy. Hey, Alliance. Congratulations. You did what you said you're going to do. You went 3-0 last month. Reality check. That's right. Right. That's good. You celebrated, you tweeted, and you acted like fools when you saw it. But the fact of the matter is you did it by playing games. And apparently you want to play games again here tonight. But if you want to play games, then so can I. All right? So I don't know what you have against the IWC, but if you want to play hardball, we're going to play hardball. Starting with your first match right now. Wardlow, I don't know if you're ready.
I'm always ready.
I hope so, because your match is starting right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you, accompanied to the ring by the STDs, Delicious Jimmy Demarco!
Well, wait a minute. First of all, who gave Justin Plummer a microphone? That's number one. And number two, I don't think this is fair at all. I'm a little verklempt and backwashed and bumbled over here.
What is your problem?
Well, this match, they were not ready. They were trying to speak gospel. I wanted to hear more from Justin LaVey, not Justin Plummer.
Are you serious?
Yes!
Why would you want to hear that when you can see Dr. Delicious, the potent throat, lascivious Maximus, the perpetual pervert of Pittsburgh professional wrestling, Delicious Jimmy DeMarco, with several STDs.
What is that?
A motivational pep talk. Corey Futuristic is still wearing his swim trunks from a month ago.
Has he changed? Has he gone home?
Well, I think he has time travel right to the next event. To him, our Wipeout event in July was just yesterday, I think.
Well, these fans certainly love STDs.
Oh, you gotta love Jimmy DeMarco.
No, I don't.
He really stepped up to the fight against Team LaVey, helped out his longtime buddy DJZ.
Let me tell you something. I know. Hey, I'm talking to you. I know the man born thing is going to finally be the these two beautiful blondes. You both have important business. Go get ready. Go get ready. We are going to eradicate STDs once and for all. Yeah, let them out that way. Don't let them anywhere in that direction. If one STD covers them, it is your job, buddy.
Well, security trying to keep the peace. Bostic a major night ahead of him. I don't necessarily blame Mr. Bostic and Ms. Lynn for trying to keep their distance. You never know where chest flexor's been.
That's the most accurate statement I have ever heard. What is he wearing? It looks like somebody skinned a crocodile.
Wild Child Lee Ryan's out here with his sideburns. He's named Gary and Larry. Ginger. Corey Petras. Kingpin McDowell, bowling enthusiast.
I'm a bowling enthusiast as well, but I don't wear a bowling shirt to the ring.
Well, maybe Kingpin's got a little bit better style than you do.
I'm a very accomplished bowler.
Look at those muscles on Demarco. Muscle City. Muscle Warrior thing. He's done that before.
That is true. And he's call that one, Joe.
Demarco is excited to be a Cage Fury.
Yeah, he's very excited.
But he's got his back heavily taped.
Nice.
Gotta wonder if that's maybe after effects of something with his matchup with Dylan Bostic a month ago.
Very possible. Explain to me how this is fair. We have 5 STDs on the outside. We have a Jimmy D. Now, how is Wardlow and LeBar going to fend off? These odds are not in their favor.
It's a one-on-one match. That is as fair as you can get.
Not on the outside.
No one has done anything.
Do you ever trust an STD? I have never trusted one in my life. Not even a guy that can go to the future and back. And
I trust the sexy, talented dudes to do what's right for Jimmy DeMarco, what's right for this match. DeMarco just wants a fair fight. He's a proud man. We saw them serve as the lifeguards of DeMarco a month ago. DeMarco gets a little leverage. And you know what? Wardlow's got so much power. And Flexor is flagrantly trying to help out DeMarco here.
Now wait a minute. What is the referee doing? What is going on?
Well, LeBar is, look at this.
You know, this Hands Across America thing was through the 1980s. I'm pretty sure this is not what they had in mind.
Well, everybody's looking for leverage here as best they can. And Wardlow gets the upper hand of it.
I don't know if I've ever seen that many people hold hands at once on a wrestling show.
Wardlow's what, 6'4" or 5", 250 or 60 pounds?
At least.
As LeBar likes to say, the man with war in his name. And DeMarco trying to fire away, but you don't want to get into slugfest with Wardlow. And Wardlow's a man his grand potential is only beginning to be realized. This guy is such a natural athlete. Oh, DeMarco on top of the STDs.
Well, that was a great move. Corey Futuristic must have gone into the future and knew that was coming. He was able to avoid that a little bit.
I'm not sure if anybody else was prepared for it, least of all, certainly Jimmy DeMarco.
Oh my God, what do we have here?
Oh, no. Oh God, Wardlow! Are you kidding me?
Wardlow is not playing games. LeBar's gonna go next.
What?
Come on, go!
No.
Go! For managers everywhere, do it! Remember this moment. This is gonna be the greatest moment in IWC history.
Oh no. It might be the final moment in IWC history.
You'd be surprised at his aerial skills. Uh-oh.
Oh! Yeah, he jumped a few feet on that time. And here comes Wardlow, who was too busy celebrating his dive. He lost focus and shot right to the kidney. Don't know the extent of the damage to the back or the shoulder of Jimmy DeMarco. But certainly still the worst for wear from a month ago.
You know, you almost have to wonder if he's attempting to mask another injury by wearing that.
Well, as long as I've known DeMarco, he's never quite been 100%. He's always nursing some type of wound, and he's always in a frantic mental state. Oh!
I'll tell you,
I'm Wardlow intimidating the STDs. They want no part of him now.
Well, do you blame him? Why don't you go down there? You know what? I'd love to see you and Wardlow.
What do I have to do with this?
I'd love to see that match.
Ouch!
I could bring Jay Worthington Farnsworth. We could do the entire show.
And Wardlow charges through. Man. Demarco's in pain. I've seen Demarco battle some of the toughest. Talk about Necro Butcher, Ray Rowe, Gambino family, but Demarco almost got a hold of LaVey. And we saw what happened the first time. LaVey does not want to feel that way again.
Well, that was just uncalled for. I don't see anybody. Hopefully we can get our medical personnel ready to take care of. LaVey may need some ice or a baggie or something.
Well, maybe you can tend to it later since you guys are such good friends.
Well,
look at this, Demarco hanging on for dear life. Wardlow sends Demarco into the ring, and Demarco goes right back out. And keep in mind, when this match was announced a month ago, Demarco seemed a little hesitant. Seemed like he maybe wasn't prepared for this match. There was a time where it looked like he wouldn't be medically cleared in time. I'm not sure if Demarco really knew the power and the strength of Wardlow till he felt it firsthand.
Well, I personally don't think it was fair because we didn't get to hear the rest of LaVey. I don't think Wardlow was properly warmed up, but he's been taking it to Jimmy D this entire match. Now explain this. What you did at that?
What? Flexor is off the apron now. He's instructing the official that Jimmy DeMarco is trying to get back in the ring.
I didn't see a count. He was out there for at least 20 seconds. Well.
Oh, God. No. DeMarco hit Flexor, hit Corey, hit the guardrail. DeMarco is just being pinballed all over this building. And again, I go back to the fact I've seen so many men over the years face DeMarco. I can't remember the last time DeMarco's been dominated in quite this way.
Well, he's going up against a marble statue.
Oh, God. And again crashes down.
You know, I don't know what the game plan going into a match with Wardlow could possibly be, but they're going to need to change course.
Well, and there you have it. I don't think the STDs are any kind of unfair advantage that you expected to be. DeMarco is in a bad way. I believe DeMarco came into this matchup far less than 100%. He's gunning it out, even though he's medically cleared. It's not wise your first match back after being injured a couple of weeks is against the man with war in his name.
Ouch. I'll be honest, I don't think it's ever a good idea to want to step across the ring from Wardlow. Jimmy D's going to need either a breather or some, and now he seems to be convulsing, but.
Well, Wardlow's world is what we're in right now, so says the man himself. DeMarco finding that out the hard way.
Well, Wardlow may be the judge, jury, and execution of Jimmy DeMarco.
Look at DeMarco! Got the head scissors! Out of nowhere, DeMarco with a chance! Wardlow planning down, and now DeMarco. Takeover, modified prawn hold, and DeMarco just slugging away with that animalistic intent he's been known for. Oh, Wardlow caught him. Oh, buckle bomb.
That'll take care of that momentum that he had going. As LaVey looks on, obviously very happy.
Still a little in discomfort, but happy nonetheless as Wardlow misses the corner charge. Former multiple-time IWC champion, Jimmy DeMarco. Charging through, oh no! Oh, DeMarco hit very hard on that ring post. Not sure if his head or his shoulder hit first, but oh, Wardlow has him scooped up. DeMarco gets dropped hard, and this could be it.
For the sake of Jimmy DeMarco, hopefully it's it.
Wardlow covers.
Oh, what a kick out.
No.
Oh, what a kick. Oh, that was amazing.
Wardlow pulled DeMarco up before 3.
Oh, no, that was amazing. He just got to inflict more punishment now.
DeMarco may have been beaten, and you don't take that lightly. When you've got Demarco down, you damn sure keep him down. Wardlow did not.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I will agree with you there. If you look up resiliency in the dictionary, you're going to see a picture of Jimmy Demarco. I think he's still suffering from that shot to the ring post.
Oh, without question. He's not been himself since then.
He hasn't been himself in a long time.
He may have a concussion at this point. As Wardlow, for a second time, gonna drop Demarco with that fireman's carry sit out. Are you kidding me? Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this contest, Wardlow!
That is emphatic, and that is a statement to put one foot on the chest of one of the most toughest, greatest athletes in IWC history, Jimmy Demarco, and pin him. A man that has withstood career and indeed life-threatening scenarios. He could not survive Wardlow. That is scary strong and scary dominant from the man with war in his name. What's the future hold for Wardlow, BC Steele?
Well, what the future holds for Wardlow and Justin LaBar is anything that they want. And hopefully people paid attention to what happened tonight to Jimmy Demarco and the STDs, because if you step in front of them, you're going to suffer the same fate.
Clean sweep in the night.
Hold up. STDs, hold on.
Who gives him a microphone?
Congratulations, STDs. Please escort these gentlemen out of the building.
What?
Let's go. You guys, it's your turn to start. Let's go. I want to pull out the front door.
Well, that may not have been wise.
Plummer just stuck the ST. Oh my God, no! Flexer has dropped his pants. If that's not enough to get somebody running to the exits, I don't know what is. And in the confusion, the STDs pounce.
So no, save LaBar.
Oh, they got LaBar.
What are they doing?
Look at this.
Now that was uncalled for.
Well, keep in mind that Platinum World Alliance, they dominated everybody 3 for 3. They used the numbers game a month ago. I think Plummer's trying to make sure our cage match tonight, with careers on the line, is one-on-one.
We're not having the ball get involved in this main event tonight. Send his butt packing.
LaBar is being sent out of the building.
Well, how is that fair?
How is it fair? Look at how they've overstepped their boundary.
He's a licensed manager. He has a right to be out there.
These people are helping throw LaBar out. Look, they'll hold the door. LaBar has been...
Hold up, STD's way. Bring it back.
LaBar has been overtaken by STDs.
Hey, cameraman. I got some news. We'll send this to LaBar. Maybe he can watch it on a smartphone while he's driving home, or whoever's driving home. But October 15th, Tony Tringer's bringing House of Hardcore to partner with the IWC right here at Court Time. So I say this, LaBar, I don't know who's going to be left on the roster after tonight, but why don't you go get your best 3 and I'll get my best 3. And at House of Hardcore on October 15th, it's Team LaBar versus Team IWC.
Well, you want to talk about a dangerous individual.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following tag team contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first, making their way to the ring in total combined weight of 488 pounds. The king of Marshall the Pool Gambino and Bronco, McBride.
Marshall the Bull Gambino is part of the greatest tag team in IWC history, the Gambino family. They won that honor earlier this year, but when everybody started talking about the newest, hottest young team on the scene today, Remy, LaVey, and Keith Haught, and their huge upset win of the tag team titles last spring, Marshall the Bull got a little jealous and decided to inflict some pain and punishment on the young tandem, recruiting a former rival, Bronco McBride from Blue Collar Slaughterhouse. We now enter a tag team war where Remy and Haught try to prove themselves against the bully of IWC Tag Team Wrestling. and the endorsement of Booker T himself, Hall of Famer, as they beat the Fraternity for the tag team titles. But Marshall the Bull, he was guarding the cage door for the rematch in Clearfield, and he literally shut the door on Keith Haught and Remy LaVey's dreams. Marshall the reason. Remy and Keith lost the tag team titles. Marshall's not gotten over the fact that Remy and Keith got the fanfare. They got the adulation, not the Gambino family.
Well, Joe, who knows more about tag team wrestling here at IWC than Marshall Gambino? See, you couldn't name a single person. I saw your brain trying to work there. You're looking at me kind of
You're right.
funny.
I mean, he and Mickey beat the Founding Fathers and sexual harassment to win that honor last March, our 15th anniversary. You're absolutely right. And there's no surprise, this is a slugfest. No surprise, this is violent. Marshall has engaged and instigated many uncomfortable assaults on these two men. We saw Bronco appear a month ago. Britt Baker got caught up in the middle, and she got slugged in the face by Marshall the Bull. That was callous, that was uncalled for, and when Remy and Keith went to Britt's aid, Marshall and Bronco just kept beating the hell out of them too.
Well, that's because they put their nose in a place that didn't belong. They had nothing to do with that situation. They should have got over the fact that Marshall pulled one over on, try and rebound, try and regain.
Actually, Remy and Keith came out to save Britt from the Fraternity. Marshall put his nose where it didn't belong. He had nothing to do with that.
You know, you have a really weird way of looking at history.
Yeah, it's called memory. Remy LaVey fighting for his life here, unloading on Bronco, unloading on Marshall, who hit the post.
Tell you, these two can really lay in some hard hits. There's really no, and that's one of them.
Oh, the knee right to the chest cavity, and Haught and Remy are feeling it. And there's the bind eraser, or the sling blade, excuse me. Remy LaVey, one of his signature maneuvers, going for a cover, but Marshall too close to the ropes.
Well, I think Bronco and Marco sounds like a comedy duo from the 20s.
Oh, God, nothing funny about that. Disqualification.
Well, I was going to say Bronco and Marshall had maybe underestimated, but it's a good way to send a message.
Well, I think Bronco realized that he and Marshall were in a bit of a bigger fight than they intended, because Remy and Haught came out of the chute with something to prove.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winners of this contest as a result of the disqualification, Keith Haught and Remy LaVey.
Haught and Remy victorious, but not the way they wanted it.
You know what? I'm sick and tired of that crap. You know what? This isn't over. September, World Valley, Bronco, Marshall Gambino. We challenge you to a street fight.
Whoa, that's Marshall's turf.
I think it's safe to say that none of the IWC fans want to see the four of us have a wrestling match. They want to see us beat the living hell out of each other. So I say, September 17th, World Valley Pennsylvania. Fans, bring the weapons. September, make it happen.
Fans bring the weapons. Oh, this is a fire in Remy LaVey that I haven't seen before. Marshall is the expert of weapons, the expert in street fights.
Well, hey, we're not gonna have to wait till September. We'll get it right now.
Oh my God! And they're gonna start the fight completely out of control right now. When Marshall's temper gets the better of him.
Well, hey, they issued a challenge. Why not get it started now?
Well, no, this match has already ended on a disqualification.
I say let him fight. I never liked Remy LaVey or Keith Haught anyway.
Marshall just threw the chair right at Remy LaVey's head. No remorse whatsoever, as if you'd expect any, from Marshall the Bull and Bronco, who's certainly right along the family doctrine as well. Oh, come on.
Well, this is not going to bode well for Remy LaVey, as we see fans getting out of the way, referees are getting pushed.
Marshall is just stacking Remy LaVey underneath a pile of steel, sandwiched between the chairs and the guardrail. Oh no. I mean, Remy came here to fight. Remy came here to to prove himself to Marshall.
Well, I don't think this is not going to end well.
This was supposed to be a coming out party, but now, no! God. Oh, he's wedged in between the guardrail. Oh, that's sick. Oh, this is uncomfortable.
Well, wait a minute.
No. Well, it's the family show now. Marshall and the rest of the family are dominating. Good grief. Oh, my God.
Well, we may not have Keith Haught and Remy LaVey next month.
Well, I guess that was their heartless way of accepting the challenge. Bronco inserted the chair because things weren't going the way the family planned. But look at the damage done. Look at the bodies laying. That's Marshall the Bull at his old school best. Remy LaVey and Keith Haught just got whacked. And it's going to get worse in Rural Valley in that fans bring the weapon street fight if Marshall has anything to say about it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the following contest is a LeRusso of the IWC Women's Division. Introducing first the company by Bostic. From Nashville, Tennessee, currently on the Platinum World Tour. She is a minor diamond of professional wrestling. Congratulations, Raylyn.
Now what's her problem?
Raylyn is currently on the Platinum World Tour.
Have you ever seen a more beautiful blonde in your life?
I didn't know you felt that way about Dylan.
Well, he's a very attractive man as well. Oh, she's going to twerk you. I'm going to need a moment. Want to see me do it? Look.
No, sit down, please. That was bad when LeVar did it last month.
You know, that was beautiful. I love seeing you. I love young love.
LeVar has been thrown out of the building. Wardlow, I'm assuming, is flying down the highway trying to catch wherever the STDs have taken Justin LeVar. So there may be no backup for Raylyn and Dylan Bostic, but Raylyn had backup all her own, surgically implanted. Titanium plate in her hand is how she beat Maria Manic in near record time last month. Be completely honest, I am deathly afraid of Lufisto, and she actually likes me. So what does that say about Raylyn and her chances going into battle against pound for pound, maybe the toughest female to ever compete in professional wrestling?
Well, not only that, just one of the toughest competitors, period. I attempted to get a word earlier if we could get a candid word on her match. That didn't go so well. She had directed me to walk away.
Nobody trusts you back there.
I was just trying to get a word.
Hello, Lufisto, everybody, here in the IWC.
Long overdue.
What? I said we're going to play games because last month, I believe it was you that took out Maria Manic with that titanium plate in your right hand. Yeah? Well, I think this may have been done about 20 years ago, but we're going to do it again here because from now on, that titanium plate is considered an illegal foreign object.
Yeah.
And you won't wrestle another match without this glove. Here, hey! If she doesn't put this ugly glove on, disqualify her. I don't care. And then kick her out of the building too. I don't care.
Raylyn's not going to have much of a choice. Put the glove on or you will not compete and you will be out of here.
Well, it's not her fault that she had the surgery.
It is her fault that she used the titanium plate as a weapon. That's her fault.
Well, how's she supposed to help herself? She's right-handed.
Do not strike. It is wrestling.
But
Do not strike with your right hand.
But she is a striker, if you did not know that. A twerker and a striker. the Miley Cyrus of professional wrestling, a hashtag Platinum World Tour, a beautiful woman. There's young love.
And they are mocking the way Raylyn looks in the glove.
You know, she can pull off anything. I bet after tonight, the glove look is going to be in.
Is that so?
Yeah, absolutely. You're going to see men, women, priests, nuns, everybody's going to be wearing gloves.
Men, women, priests, and nuns.
Yes, and postmen, butchers.
Oh my God. Ouch. Well, let's talk about Lufisto for a second. She's far from a priest or a nun, that's for sure. She is called the Wounded Owl because she says she gains knowledge through pain.
Well, now I believe that's illegal.
I think Raylyn's getting a lot of knowledge right now. I'll tell you what, Lufisto has won the Queen of the Death Match. She's won the King of the Death Match. She's beaten Necro Butcher. She's the only female to hold championship gold in CZW. She's the only female to step inside the cage of death in CZW. She's been to Canada, Mexico, Japan, Germany, England, and she has left a trail of bodies and blood in her wake. She fears no man, no woman, and no scenario, and not even a Bronco buster will stop her. But it will humiliate her. Oh, not the butt thing. She's doing a thing with her butt, man.
I love it. You got to shake it. Shake it, but don't break it.
Charging it again. Oh, you don't want to insult Lufisto.
Absolutely not.
Oh, hello.
Well,
there's a different kind of butt thing.
Well, she may need to have surgery for a broken face.
Imagine how stupid she'll look then.
You're not nice.
She's not nice. She used a steel plate to hit a wonderful young woman who's trying to make a career of herself here in IWC and pro wrestling. Knocked her out in about 45 seconds.
You know, all those shots have got to feel like a stone hand. I mean, I said earlier, Raylyn being a striker, shot to the back. Lufisto, as you mentioned her accolades earlier, a striker in her own right. And really no fear at all.
This is penance. This is karma for Raylyn after the dominant streak they showed at Wipeout, but more importantly, the way they went about that dominance. We saw the STDs watching over Wardlow. LeVar get thrown out. Now Raylyn's got to put up with this. The LeVar Platinum World Tour has to reap what they sow. And it just so happens it's a night when Bostic's and DJZ's careers are on the line.
You know, things did not start off for this alliance. And one thing I will say, Raylyn has to be focused. As much as I enjoy a good twerk, she's not going to be able to be doing that if she's going to take it to Lufisto.
There's a time to twerk and a time to fight.
I believe that was a Willie Nelson song.
And a time to every purpose under heaven. But moving on. The double knees, and Raylyn may be knocked out. This is done for. Bostic trying to get involved. Why is Bostic out here?
Well, Bostic's got to worry about his match tonight. Lufisto will knock him out too.
Yeah, no kidding. Will Raylyn tap out?
Well, if she doesn't tap, she may be a pretzel.
Raylyn's feet are practically touching the back of her head.
I'll be honest, I'm intimidated just sitting all the way up here.
Oh, double arm suplex. I'll tell you what, everybody wants to talk about revolutions in women's wrestling. Lufisto is a one-woman revolution. She's been fighting that cause for well over a decade, bringing this physical, athletic, credible style to women's wrestling all over the world. She was credible women's wrestling before it was cool. And she still is.
And you can't find me anybody hard-pressed not to agree with that either.
Ouch. Raylyn's not arguing.
Oh,
you can hear those thuds up here in the balcony.
A couple more shots, Raylyn may not know where she's at.
Ouch. I think that caught Raylyn right in the mouth.
You know, I should go see if she's okay.
Do you want to go down there?
I should be here with
Cover 2-0. And Lufisto, long overdue debut here in IWC. We've seen some great female talents over the years. Sarah Del Rey, Daisy Hayes, Gail Kim. Raylyn drop kick, making a pair. Raylyn's got to out-finesse and out-quicken Lufisto. Because the more physical it gets, the more about striking it gets. I don't care what you say. Raylyn's at a disadvantage.
Well, I will agree with you there. Not only that, but Lufisto very resilient. No stranger to long matches. Can really not only inflict punishment, but take it as well.
Oh, what impact.
Speaking of punishment.
And no trump card. No titanium plate with that glove over the hand of Raylyn this time.
Which is not fair.
Oh, Bostic, talking about not fair. Bostic grabs the foot.
She tried to kick him.
She tried to avoid him, but it didn't work. And Raylyn comes back with shots of her own.
Kudos to Dylan Bostic for protecting himself.
What?
There you go. Turnabout's fair play.
We saw that strike earlier from Lufisto.
Aww. That was nice.
There's really time for kissing in this
match.
That
was really nice.
Ah, there you go. That's some kind of signal.
What?
Bostic choking a woman. A woman that could probably beat him up.
I was watching Raylyn and our referee discuss. I don't know what you're looking at, Joe.
The match. And look at Bostic again. Come on. How classless can you be?
Well, what?
Look at him.
Well, see what happened was Lufisto rolled outside the ring and went after Bostic again. I mean, what's he supposed to do?
Are you serious?
Of course.
1986 wants their wrestling announcer back. What are you talking about? None of that happened.
Will you stop?
And Raylyn now takes full control of Lufisto. And now into the cover. And if Raylyn wins this matchup, you can put an asterisk and give an assist to Dylan Bostic.
A win is a win is a win is a win is a win.
Well, Lufisto is in trouble now. She's in danger. Cover, shoulders trapped. If Raylyn's own shoulders get trapped for 3 seconds, she could inadvertently pin herself, so she's got to watch the weight positioning as the veteran tries to get out. Second time now, trapped or no?
Smart move there, wrapping those legs around. There we go. Well,
leg sweep. Ouch. That connected. Near fall.
I told you, she was a striker. And she's a high flyer as well.
Well, there's not much she can't do. I'm going to admit that. She's a great athlete.
And, you know, against Lufisto, that's what you got to do.
Oh, nobody there.
Well, the people are certainly behind Lufisto, but, well, from the looks of these people, I don't know if I'd want them behind me.
How can you not respect Lufisto, all the contributions she's made over the years?
No doubt about it. I absolutely respect it, to be quite honest. Fear her.
Ouch.
And you mentioned earlier, she was the women's revolution before it was trendy and a hashtag on Twitter. I mean, just look her up and you'll see that she can go. There's no doubt about it.
She spilled pints of blood for her cause. Sinton Deerfall.
Well, she's, I believe, getting ready to spill pints of Raylyn's.
Northern Light suplex to the bridge. 2-0, and Bostic is having a fit on the outside. Bostic begging with Lufisto to show some mercy, but sent out half Bostic crab. Look how low to the ground Lufisto is. That puts more torque on the lower back. And Bostic objecting, but he's not helping Raylyn, doing her any favors. She gets to the ropes, but I mean, that could have very easily been a tap out. Raylyn sends Lufisto for the ride. No, puts the brakes on. Oh, God. Almost like a packaged brain buster. 2-0.
You got to give it to Raylyn. She's very resilient. You got to give it to her.
She's taking a hell of a beating. Variation of a figure four. And ramming Raylyn into the Into the knee. Oh, she may be out. Into an Indian deathlock. Will Raylyn tap out? Bostic is in a panic. She's tapping with the officials with Bostic.
Well, unless the official sees it, it doesn't count now, does it? And look, she made it to the ropes.
And the fans are upset. They're frustrated. Lufisto had this matchup won. Lufisto, like a veteran, going right back to battle. She's not going to take time to argue or complain. Oh, missed in the corner. Raylyn missed as well. Cannonball connects. It is all Lufisto at the moment. Running over the boot screw. Raylyn is out of it again. Cover, no. And I'll give credit to Raylyn.
10 minutes gone by.
Raylyn, she's been beaten once or twice, but she's only been beaten once or twice. That's an accomplishment when you've been in with Lufisto this long. Ouch! Right to the back of the head, and oh, near fall.
We know that there's only a handful of people that can say that not only that they've ever gone this long with Lufisto before being destroyed or knocked out, but not a lot of people have beaten Lufisto.
Wait a minute. What just went flying out of the ring?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, Lufisto has Raylyn down with a gutbuster. This'll do it. 2. No, Raylyn kicks out again, but wait.
Well, I think what happened, I think that glove may have accidentally fallen off.
Was it an accident?
Absolutely. What else? Are you insinuating otherwise?
What do you think? When jackknife pin, near fall. You know she didn't want to wear that thing in the first place.
Well, it obviously wasn't molded to her hand.
Oh, went for that back fist. Oh, come on, Bostic. Raylyn counters. Oh, Raylyn just got her. That titanium hand and the cutter. Oh, that glove is long gone. She stole another one.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of the contest,
Are you going to absolve that? Are you going to excuse that?
Well, you see, let me call it. What happened was the glove flew off, and she had no choice but to. Well, wait a minute.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Hey, whoa, 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 whoa!
What? That's Serafini! I haven't seen her in IWC in years. Where did she come from? I guess Plummer had another message for another member of the World Alliance. Raylyn got knocked out right to the face. Man, what an obscure locale has Furty been hiding out in for 3 years. She's been out of IWC. I haven't heard hide nor hair from her. She comes out of nowhere and almost kicks Raylyn's head off. And once again, the Platinum World Alliance, they may get another victory, but they're not celebrating with a clean sweep like they did a month ago. But they can clean sweep it again. This time, Dylan Bostic's the new champion. EYFBO have made some major waves for themselves throughout the New York scene and surrounding independence. This is their IWC debut. On the ropes is Mike Draztik, and doing laps around the ring is Angel Ortiz. Their reputation precedes them, and they have the potential to make history and become champions their first day in the door in the International Wrestling Cartel.
And still doing laps.
How much time you have to do laps around the ring like that. I've seen an athlete or two do that over the years, and it takes a lot out of you.
It does. Reminds me of an Andrew Palace. Which, by the way, that'll be the last time we see Andrew Palace here tonight.
I see.
But, as the accolades,
he's tired.
Well, the accolades that this team has, they're going up against the best tag team in IWC. Period. End of story.
That's true. But that could change by the end of the night.
And their opponents from the Ivy League at a combined weight of 442 pounds with a combined SAT score of 4,000. We are the IWC Tag Team Champions, Gibson, the Fraternity.
Wow, an SAT score of 4,000. Bet you didn't have that in your notes, did you?
Is that mathematically possible?
Yes, actually it is. You get 400 points for writing your name.
Please don't explain it in depth, step by step. But is it possible when you spend your whole life partying and acting a fool?
See, what one man calls acting a fool, other men call winning.
Well, they win. They do that, but that's not all they do. The brash, obnoxious, childlike dependency on frat parties and college lifestyle, eventually you gotta grow up. No matter how many illuminated solo cups you wear.
That is an impressive amount of illuminated solo cups. And you can't blame them. They're the IWC Tag Team Champions. If you and I were the IWC Tag Team, if two other guys were the IWC Tag Team Champions, they'd have that same confidence. That means they are the best tag team in this company, and that's all there is to it. I don't blame them.
They say fraternity is eternity. They have a very tough task to continue to prove that tonight.
See, Joe, you wouldn't understand what it's like to be in a fraternity.
I don't wish to be in one. Nor did I when I was that age, but especially not in my current age.
Well, see, there's a lot of brotherhood and bonding. Have you ever seen Old School? It's a lot like that.
Okay, and I don't recall many tag team titles in Old School.
There were tons. But that's because they didn't have the fraternity.
Ortiz getting in the face of Channing Decker.
You know, I've never met a man named Channing that wasn't trustworthy and a winner. Ever.
How many men named Channing have you met?
Counting Channing Decker? 2.
I see.
Well, the chin of IWC.
That's the phonetic pronunciation of EYFBO, yes.
Well, yes, I gathered that.
Just making sure. Will they be chanting new tag team champions then?
If I were a betting man, which of course I'm not, but if I were a betting man, my money's on the champs.
Why do you say that?
Because they're the champs. They have to get beaten. They don't have to pin anybody. They don't have to prove anything.
Mike Draztik is starting things out. He calls himself the real deal, and certainly put that to the test because the fraternity have proven to be the real deal tag team wrestling in IWC. Now 2-time champions, and they have really made life miserable for John McChesney as well, who is still on the shelf with a torn gastrocnemius muscle, calf muscle, during a recent matchup in Erie, Pennsylvania. He's not medically cleared, and hello. It was almost an injury of another sort. Well, EYFBO is certainly very effervescent and very loud. Like to get inside their opponents' heads.
You know, after they did the 400 meter around the ring, I don't know how there's any breath left.
Side headlock by Decker. Able to tackle down Angel Ortiz. Calls himself the Funky Monkey.
The Funky Monkey. You know, I knew a kid like that in college.
Did you?
I did. You know, back when I was in a fraternity.
I see. So this is kind of like a morality play representing your life right now.
Exactly. Picture EYFBO as the pledges, and they're going to get what for? And that was not, by the way, Raylyn level twerking.
So what? Oh, thank you for clarifying. So what you're saying is that challengers are going to get hazed by the champions.
Yes, they will be hazed and confused.
I see. Well, Ortiz counters Decker coming in. Great technical skill. And again, this is like the it team in the New York Independents right now. It's the team everybody's talking about. And they could certainly expand their range with an IWC tag title win. We've seen many men over the years come in day number one, win tag team titles, and become IWC stars, IWC regulars. Probably the most famous example of that in the IWC tag team division is I can point to two examples. I can point to youth and experience. I can point to Facade and Johnny Gargano, who won the tag team titles Gargano's first night in, their first night as a team. And what about the legendary Midnight Express? Loverboy Dennis and Beautiful Bobby, IWC Tag Champions, their first appearance in 2004.
Well, I can tell you, if they took on the Fraternity, neither of those teams would have won. Not even close.
Are you serious?
I am absolutely serious.
You think the Fraternity is better than the Midnight Express?
Yes.
Wait, he's got his beverage. Oh no! That's a waste of perfectly good beer. Roll up 2-0. And Trent and Gibson's eyes have to be burning at this point. I think Decker's upset he just spilled his drink.
Well, I would be too. That was a little bit of an unorthodox offense there.
A back rake followed by a thigh rake. A thigh rake, folks. Hashtag thigh rake.
That must be a New York thing.
You go to New York, you get some of their New York style pizza, you do some thigh rakes. Decker puts the brakes on and both challengers collide. Decker gets a little full of himself and he pays for it. Across the knee, high heel kick connects. Decker and Chubby comes Trent Gibson. Gibson kind of 2-on-1 at this point, but the challengers connect. Nicely done, Gibson in trouble.
And I do want to point out that one of EYFBO should be out of the ring.
You mean IWC?
Yes, IWC.
Why don't you like these guys?
Well, first of all, I don't like anybody from New York.
Well, Draztik gonna go high risk. Acai moonsault. Everybody lands hard on the Garno on the floor, but Draztik comes up looking great. Fans certainly very impressed with what they've seen thus far. Oh wait, here comes Ortiz!
And there goes Ortiz.
Oh, it's the hardest part of a wrestling ring. Metal meets wood.
See, it was something like there that shows you why Gibson and Decker, the Fraternity to you and me, are the IWC Tag Team Champions. They're always thinking, even when they look down, they're always one step ahead. It's like a human game of chess, and they own the board and the pieces and the rules.
And there you heard, fraternity is eternity, so they say. It's their chance to prove it. It's their match to lose here against the challengers, EYFBO.
You know what EYFBO stands for?
Would you like to indulge me?
No.
See.
I can tell you what fraternity stands for.
Eternity?
That stands for winner and eternity. It also stands for IWC Tag Team Champions, possibly forever.
Are you lobbying for like a job with these guys?
I'm not lobbying for a job. I mean, if they were interested in some of the services, not only managerial, but I have a great financial planner as well, I'm not opposed.
Here comes the Eiffel Tower.
I love that. That's my favorite thing ever.
I don't know that you'd be welcome in the frat house.
I told you, I was in a fraternity.
But you were not in this fraternity.
Well, I was not in this prestigious fraternity, no, but as I said, I'd be more than happy to represent and learn the ways. I've had a beer or two in my day.
In your day? That day was today. Are you kidding me?
I've partied with a Zima a time or two, not that other guy, but you know, the drink.
Yeah, well, I mean, you may need a few drinks after this night is over, depending on how things shake out for your man.
Well, you don't worry about that. Look, Chris LeRusso and Bulk Nasty right now are in training, getting his mind, body, and soul ready. And you know, I gotta say it, Draztik there on the outside, not being smart. He should have gotten on the outside, let the referee turn around. He gave the fraternity an open opportunity to take it to Ortiz. I personally liked it myself.
See, well, fraternity's done a great job of controlling the pace, dictating the tempo. It is all to their advantage in this contest. Ortiz with an elbow, can he get the Draztik? That wasn't a legal tag, I don't think. Get out of there, Decker.
It was an implied tag.
An implied tag. Oh no, Decker trips up Draztik. Ortiz made it to his corner, but nobody was there. Fraternity a step ahead of the game.
Feel free to remind me if I've said this before, but that is the example of why they're the tag champs. They're just so smart.
It is an example, absolutely. Not going to argue that.
Shut up, cowboy!
See, they're the hottest team since spring break, and spring break is pretty hot.
Spring break is not a team.
Well, if it were, it's a metaphor.
Ortiz fighting back. And Gibson to the clothesline. And the cover for two. And Gibson doing a great job of cutting the ring off out of hypotenuse at this point. Setting Ortiz into his corner. Decker the boot for some extra added leverage.
Well, he's got till 5. See, they're smart. Quick tags, get a quick break, get the fresh man in. That's not what we're seeing from IWC. Apparently your new favorite tag team.
I mean, what's not to like about them? They're successful, they're fun, they're athletic, they're energetic. They have a roll-up here. No. Follow through. Short DDT, all impact there. Will Gibson be caught in the wrong part of town? Will Ortiz able to get a cover? Or maybe a tag? And Draztik was his name-o, but no tag. Got it that time. Draztik unloading on Decker and Gibson. The tide turns in this tag team championship match. Beautifully done, the springboard cutter. This could be all to it. No. Gibson makes the save.
Woo! I was a little bit worried there. I thought that was going to... Oh, there it is again with the back break.
And Gibson. This matchup has completely broken down, excuse me. 2-on-2. Ortiz takes over Gibson. And it's 2 challengers to 1 champion at the moment. But Ortiz has other ideas. Oh, charges through with a suicide dive.
You know, we have shenanigans aplenty. I've lost track of the legal men at this point. I believe it is Draztik and Decker. There you go. See there, he took too much time.
Look at this. Gibson is holding Ortiz on the outside. Reversal. Oh no, Decker got launched. Right into his own man. Ortiz out of the way. EYFBO outsmarts the field. Draztik resorting to drastic measures until they can helo to the outside. And check out this ovation.
Okay, I'll admit it. EYFBO is looking very good right now. IWC Draztik and Ortiz, they're in control. Are you happy?
I'm happy we're seeing a great contest. I'm happy that these fans are happy. We could have new tag team champions. History could be made. Oh, what a leg drop. Covered. Oh, no. Gibson pushes Ortiz into Draztik to break up the fall. The contact was enough for an interruption of the count.
And I'll tell you, that was a genius move. There's no way Gibson was going to make it over there in time.
Oh, caught Draztik. Oh, buckle bomb. Oh, you can feel that impact. Could this do it? Decker on top? No.
And what more do you got to do to put these two guys away?
Ortiz back in. Ortiz unloading on everybody. Clothesline. See a Decker to the outside he goes. Awkward landing. Gibson much the same. Oh, Gibson elevated. Sit out slam. Whatever you want to call it. Oh, Decker caught him. Uranagi. Tilt-a-whirl style. And here comes Draztik. Oh. Oh, God, they hit head.
That was loud.
That was loud, that was intense. On Draztik, a pump kick. Death belly driver, good grief. New champions, though. Man, how close can you get?
I'll tell you, the fraternity's got to feel right now that they're, as much as I hate to say this, in some, no pun intended, some drastic trouble.
Well, certainly, it was not the formality that you had predicted, Mr. Steele. As Draztik fight for his life here. Oh, we've seen that before. Face first on the boot of Decker.
You know what it's time for?
Yeah, the keg stand. And they got all of it. That interrupts the interruption. They retain the championship.
Yes. And still the IWC Tag Team Champions, the Fraternity.
Fraternity may not be eternity, but it goes on for at least one more event. Decker and Gibson come out victorious, but man, just barely. EYFBO had this matchup won a couple of times.
But the important thing is, your winners, and still the IWC Tag Team Champions, the Fraternity. See how I did that? I could do ring announcing too.
Whoa, wait a second.
Well, wait.
One man may object to that. We've seen it pursue the Triple Crown. He's here. He's not 100%, but John McChesney is back in IWC. Torn gastric medius muscle.
And this is not a smart decision for him to be out here.
Wrestled on that torn muscle for 6 minutes. Rolled completely up his leg.
That was one hell of a tag team match I just saw right there.
But he's here tonight in Elizabeth.
Give it up for these guys. EYFBO. Come on, one more time. With that said, it would not be Cage Fury 2016 without the IWC King of the Cage, Big League John McChesney. Now you guys are lucky that I'm injured right now. I will be back. You're lucky I'm injured because if I wasn't, I'd have you two inside that cage tonight. And I would beat you two to a bloody pulp and send both of your sorority sister half-and-half bitches home to Toronto.
Doesn't matter, we're in chance. We got it. Sorority sisters. What? Sorority sisters. Sorority sisters.
Now I'm saying this to every one of you in the crowd. This is healing, and I will be back in an IWC ring soon. And when that's done, I guarantee everybody here that by the end of 2016, I will have a partner. No more asylum. He's taken out my girl, Brett Baker, but I will be bringing somebody. I will be the IWC Tag Team Champions by the end of 2016. And I will be the IWC Triple Crown winner.
No minced words for John McChesney. Over a decade in IWC, one goal left unaccomplished. McChesney has his eyes set on the Fraternity and Tag Team gold, but who will John McChesney's partner be when the time comes to get back into the ring? So this is Jack Sheridan. I understand he graduated from the ICWA thanks to his parents paying his tuition for him.
Where did you get that?
I do my research. But somebody who's had a privileged life, not really ever had to worry about many problems, not bills, not rent. Carefree life. Obviously likes the parties, but out to bubbly.
Music. Now, I understand you pieces of white trash don't know who I am, so I'm going to make it very simple. That's you. I'm a very wealthy man from a very wealthy family, and when I want something, I damn well get it.
Told
So
you.
when my late father, Old Sheridan, agrees to pay my way through wrestling school on the agreement that I get matches and title opportunities, you better believe I expect to get it. So far I've got knighted, and it makes me sick.
Oh, boo-hoo.
I'm tired of being overlooked. Tonight, I'm making a statement. I'm calling out the meanest, toughest, baddest SLB in my locker room to come out here and fight me right now.
Do you believe me now?
Well, now that he said it, of course. I absolutely believe it.
But the problem is Sheridan just issued an open challenge, and those don't often go well.
Well, there's a man that has no problem accepting an open challenge.
Maybe the baddest dude walking today in the International Wrestling Cartel, as if he needed that axe handle improvement. Ever since Jimmy Vegas came back at the start of the year, he has been just unstoppable. Last time we saw him and Bolin were beating the hell out of each other. That may be a war that's never settled. Bolin not here tonight. Vegas looking for another dance partner. Unfortunately, Mr. Sheridan, you pulled the short straw, or perhaps you've done this to yourself.
Well, one thing you got to say, Jack Sheridan can match size with him. That's not something a lot of guys can say.
Size, yes, but power is another thing. Vegas is stacked.
Former IWC World Heavyweight Champion.
2 times.
You know, we've seen Jimmy Vegas go on against the likes early on in his career against Sandman, against Balls Mahoney, against Tommy Dreamer, the man that's going to be here in October.
Hey, Vegas pinned a guy named CM Punk who's got a big fight coming up soon.
You know, he did pretty well for himself.
But how will Sheridan do? That's the question. Sheridan Matthews paid a lot of life dues, for lack of a better term, in this matchup. Hasn't had a problem with the world, pampered lifestyle, privileged upbringing. I think he's going to get a dose of real life here thanks to Jimmy Vegas.
Well, that may be, but you sound like you're a little jealous, just a little.
Well, I mean, hey, everybody has their own upbringing. Everybody gets to the dance a little bit of a different way, but you don't have to rub it in everybody's face just because you didn't have to work as hard.
Wait, what's wrong with having a silver spoon?
The problem is a guy like Jimmy Vegas will come along and shove it down your throat.
That's because he's jealous too.
I'm going to tell Jimmy Vegas you said that.
The opinions of Joe Dombrowski do not represent me. I like Jimmy Vegas.
Well, Jack Sheridan may need an injury lawyer to represent him before we're all said and done.
I know a few. I know many lawyers.
I bet you do. Lawyer won't help you tonight when LeRusso heads into the cage match with Palace.
There's going to be a lawyer of pain in there, and he's going to be dishing out the...
Well, you want to talk about pain. Sheridan caught Vegas coming in, crushed Vegas with that second ring cable. And Sheridan's got Vegas down. That's really the only key, the only chance of weakening Vegas to get him off his feet and not let him use that mass and power to his advantage.
Well, it's certainly a way to neutralize it. He might have wanted to kick him a little low a couple more times.
Well, that's going to get him disqualified.
Well, not if the referee doesn't see it.
Be a way to get out of the situation, though, that's for sure.
And very effective. It's not. He would get the loser's share of the purse, but come on, you and I both know he doesn't really need the money.
Hard right. And Vegas, oh, check this out. Not many men can lift Vegas off their feet, but Sheridan's done it. Snake eyes him across that corner. Nice drop kick.
You don't see a lot of guys his size able to get up for a drop kick like that.
How tall did you say this Sheridan guy is?
He's at least, I would say, a 6'5", 6'6", perhaps. He's got the confidence of a 10-foot man.
And Vegas is in trouble. Vegas is not often vulnerable. That's one thing about him. Oh. Enziguri style kick connects. Cover, barely two, though. Let's imagine trying to keep all that mass on the canvas, though. That's the difficult part.
Well, that's just it. It's one thing to get him down, but to be able to hold his shoulders down for 3 seconds is an entirely different animal. You're not really going to tell Jimmy Vegas what I said, right?
I may if I run into him later.
I've always been a
You may not make it that far to the end of the show.
You know, back in '01, Jimmy Vegas and I were a close personal friend.
15 years ago since you talked to him.
Well,
found out he wouldn't make you any money. He wanted to do his own thing with his own people. Beautiful side slam. And Vegas with an opening here.
You know, I'll give Mr. Sheridan the credit for issuing an open challenge.
A cover, this could do it? No. Credit for kicking out.
I give him credit for a lot of things. I give him credit for having a lot of commas in his bank account ledger. But you got to understand, when you're going against a guy like Jimmy Vegas, you gotta stay on him. You got to take it to him.
Oh.
And you got to stay away from that axe handle as well.
Do you mean the literal axe handle or just his bicep?
Yes.
Huge belly to belly. That could do it. No.
Didn't hook that leg. Credit to Sheridan for getting out of the way.
I think Vegas is a little impatient now.
Well, that's definitely not a man you want to make mad.
Vegas. Maneuver Sheridan like he was 170 pounds. Halfway across the ring, at least, if not more. Vegas may be going cha-ching slam. Sheridan fights his way out of the grasp. Oh, got him that time. Cha-ching slam. He's won IWC championships with it. Is enough to beat Jack Sheridan? It is. Well, Benjamin C. Steele, when you make an open challenge in IWC, you got to be ready for the worst, and Jack Sheridan felt the worst.
Well, I know I personally wouldn't want to be in there with Jimmy Vegas. Hopefully, Jack Sheridan can go back and regroup, and I don't want to be the next opponent for Jimmy Vegas, and there's not a lot of guys that would want to be.
Jimmy Vegas continues his path of terror throughout IWC. Look out, John Bolin. That story is not settled yet either. But what an impression Jonathan Gresham made at Super Indy 15 just a couple of months ago. Originally a replacement for Joey Janela. But at the end of the day, the man that loves to be called the best technical wrestler in the world, he came out of nowhere and nearly won the whole thing.
You know, what an impressive night that was. You can purchase that DVD, by the way. You can see all the great matches that night. I'm really excited for this one.
You don't mean courtesy of IndyWrestling.us and Sorgatron Media, do you?
As a matter of fact, I do.
Well, I can tell they cut you in for a percentage.
15% off the top. Never mind, they're going to work that out with the
Is that
boss.
net or gross?
Yep. I have no problem taking 15%.
Well, this man in the ring, in addition to the man we're about to see, won over 100% of our audience. Talking about the reigning Super Indy champion. Josh Alexander, at this time a couple of years ago, man, it looked like his career was over for good. But what a comeback. What a rise it's been. Josh Alexander, new life and Super Indy champion for this all-important rematch of the Super Indy 15 finals.
Is the long-awaited rematch from the Super Indy 15 tournament final, and it is for the Super Indy Championship! Introducing first the referee in charge of the sound, CJ Sensation. And now, Big Challenger from Atlanta, Georgia, weighing 165 pounds, he is recognized as the best technical wrestler in the world. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jonathan Gresham! And his opponent, in the corner to my left, from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, weighing 230 pounds, he is the reigning, defending IWC Super Indy Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the walking weapon, Josh Alexander!
So we have a bit of a different setup compared to as we did at the finals of Super Indy. Both men went through two matchups on that night, but at this time they are both 100% fresh. And I'm not sure which of the two that is more advantageous to be completely honest. But we are witnessing what could be, and for all intents and purposes should be, a surefire classic. It was Alexander defeating Desmond Xavier, and Darren De Niro was Jonathan Gresham. I believe he defeated Sugar Dunkerton and Andrew Palace. And Gresham came in at about a week's notice, a substitution for Joey Janela. He had no time to prepare, but he almost took away everything. For Alexander, look for that overwhelming power and strength. For Gresham, look for the mat skill. Look for those variations of the octopus type holds. It really was what brought each man respectively to the finals, and certainly respect went a long way as well.
And you're going to have to wonder, what did each man learn about the other in that Super Indy finals? Gresham didn't seem too enthused by Alexander getting in his face right there. Little war of words. Going to be interesting to see. Both men have that experience against each other. And the thing about Alexander is he's often referred to as a big money player. In big title matches and tournament matches, that's when he really turns it up and finds a new gear.
And let's talk about the fact that Alexander will always put his body on the line. He will not think twice about it. It was that wear and tear on the neck that nearly ended his career, did end his career for a number of months before he thankfully was able to get the good news and able to come back. But this is not a position Gresham wants to be in. And again, a testament to the toughness of Alexander. Alexander does not wear those amateur-style ear guards because he has amateur credentials. He does not. He wears those because of a pre-existing injury where his ear cauliflower. And it calcified, and certainly that's a tremendous deal of pain. I don't know anybody who's ever had a cauliflower ear that's been listening, but that buildup, deposit in your ear, it can build and build and just become such a nuisance. You end up needing that thing drained just to function.
And that's exactly what Gresham should go for. He should just start going after the ear. He should kick, he should punch, he should scratch and scrape. That's what he should be going for. You know, while obviously he wants to be somewhat on the up and up, he shouldn't be afraid to take an underhanded advantage if he can get it. I mean, this is for the Super Indy Championship.
And there's that octopus style hold. A variation of it. If Gresham can lock that in dead center of the ring, that octopus stretch, then we may have a new champion.
And you just saw Alexander was adjusting his headgear there, working on that shoulder. Smart move. You know what I'd do?
Gresham does love to dissect that shoulder, but what would you do?
I would just start kicking him right in that ear.
His ear is protected.
Well, you got to take the headgear off first.
I see. Again, keep in mind the tournament acumen. Alexander, 2016 JT Lightning Invitational Tournament. Gresham, 2016 CZW Best of the Best. You talk about two guys who are having a hot 2016. Two guys that are really on the tip of everybody's tongue as far as who are the next stars to really break out to a new level, a new plateau. It's Alexander and Gresham, and what an honor it is to see it right here in IWC.
Absolutely, and credit to Gresham. He's really good at being able to manipulate the body how he wants it. You mentioned earlier about the variations of the octopus hold. You saw him able to manipulate the neck, as he's doing right there, to take Alexander over.
Both these guys, little over a decade in the game, have very similar experience levels. They've both been all over the place. Alexander, somebody that I watched win over a Ring of Honor crowd in one night, and that's one of the hardest crowds to win over, and against Michael Elgin, no less. That's a tough assignment. But Alexander brought his A game and did everything he could to make sure people remembered Josh Alexander at the end of the night, and they certainly did.
And Josh Alexander has joined the names of some of the prestigious names that have won and fought over that IWC Super Indy Championship. I think of guys like AJ Styles, Colt Cabana. There was a gentleman that competed for it by the name of CM Punk. The list goes on and on and on. Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, the late great Sweet and Sour Larry Sweeney, and even homegrown talent such as DJ Z, if you will. So definitely a long list of great competitors, history and lineage with that title. Gresham looking to add his name to it.
Variation of an STF.
5 minutes gone by, 5 minutes gone by.
Smart move there, getting that arm away.
Gresham, so world traveled, has held numerous championships in Japan. Been to well over a dozen countries. We've seen Gresham pop up on Ring of Honor as well. Trying to pop out and bend back the finger of Alexander, and that's a bit more of a violent tendency than we saw out of Gresham at Super Indy, but Gresham may be realizing he has to switch up the game plan a little bit to beat Alexander this time around.
Well, I personally love it. I mean, he could have, if he really wanted to get that advantage, you could have bit into the finger. You know, you get your teeth into those knuckles.
Well, and ironically, Gresham is the one that has a bit of amateur experience, jiu-jitsu as well. So there's a lot of different ways that he can inflict pain upon you, and a lot of different ways he can manipulate your body. And Gresham does a great job of negating the size disadvantage he often finds himself in. Alexander, I don't think anybody's going to doubt that if we're talking about reach, if we're talking about strength, it's all Alexander. But Gresham can get you on the ground where height doesn't matter. And at that point, he's in his element.
A little bit of gamesmanship there by Alexander.
Yeah, Gresham could not succeed with what he wanted at that point. Alexander knows the trick is to stay on his feet. Now, what about the battles that Alexander had at Super Indy 15? It was truly a gut check for both these men before they even got to one another. One of the most arduous and difficult Super Indy fields I can remember. Gresham drops down, takes Alexander off his feet. Oh, Alexander gets up, gets the pace, crisscross. How long has it been since you've seen this? Referee's trying to stop these guys. It's not working out. Well, it wasn't the official's place, but be that as it may. Gresham with a takeover. And Gresham noticed back to zeroing in on the arm and shoulder area as he is putting a little bit of pressure, a little bit of torque on that neck, and had the arm clasped as well, which certainly could do a lot of work to soften up the shoulder for future business.
You know, he was about an inch or so away from there, getting that under the carotid artery there and just choking the life out of him. That's a heck of a way to win.
Alexander to his knees, and that breaks a lot of the momentum, the leverage that Gresham had, but Gresham back down, trapping the head. This is a game of leverage, and on the mat, Gresham has a chance. If Gresham can stay over top of Alexander, Alexander will not have the leverage needed to get to his feet. And look at him wrench in with the scissors. Gresham is wrestling a very intelligent match thus far.
I have seen, you mentioned earlier, about a little bit more aggression. That's what I want to see. That's for the IWC Super Indy Championship. It shouldn't be all handshakes and high fives. It should be pokes to the eyes, and when the referee's back's turned, you know, you jam your thumb right underneath.
I think you and I can meet a happy medium there. No, it's not all about handshakes and hugs. When the bell rings, it's serious business, but I don't agree that the way men like Bostic or RJ City represented Super Indy in the past was very indicative of what Super Indy was built on. It was built on pride, respect, and athletic competition.
But more importantly than that is showing yourself the champion. Well, you and I don't agree on a lot, but I think one thing we can't agree on right now is that Alexander doing the smart thing, going to those hands, going to those legs, so he's not able, so Gresham, isn't able to manipulate those joints.
Yeah, if Gresham cannot get the right grip on the arm or shoulder of Alexander, he can't get the right torque on that octopus stretch, and now Alexander taking things to the outside. And Gresham realizes that is not a wise move. Gresham wants to beat you on the mat. On the floor is just a lot of very uncomfortable feeling things Alexander can throw you into. I notice Gresham now keeping Alexander grounded underneath him in the side headlock, so Gresham can maybe get a new game plan ahead for him.
You know, not only those joint manipulation is gonna not only cause pain and discomfort, but it could also create a pinning situation, as we saw right there with the 2 count.
Gresham able to roll through, trap the shoulders, stacked him up on his own shoulders there, but couldn't put him away. Oof. Good grief.
Well, champion in trouble here. He takes too many more shots like that, he's going to be in real trouble.
You ain't kidding. Gresham is a powerhouse in his own right. Very adept striker. Don't let the height disadvantage fool you. There you go. Alexander responds in kind.
You know, to be hit that hard. I'd like to try that on you. Maybe I could try those chops later.
Well, imagine being told that you'll never wrestle again. Imagine being told that what you worked your entire life to achieve was gone in an instant. That's what Josh Alexander faced a couple of years ago. But now that we're on the cusp of potentially a successful title defense after a career-making title win, a career-making JT Lightning tournament win, Alexander has renewed life. That which he thought was gone forever. He now has a second chance, and you don't get a lot of second chances. Alexander's making the most of it, and that's why I feel he's most dangerous.
And to think for Alexander, everything that he does, because he did have that possible...
Now notice this, Gresham is trying to keep on the canvas. Maybe got a baited Alexander in for the takeover. Nicely done.
Well, I was going to say, Alexander, you know, every slam, every chop, every hit is kind of like a bonus, considering with what he was looking at before.
Drop toe. And Gresham back on top, and again, the match will be won and lost with weight positioning, in my opinion. Alexander had the grasp broken, easy for me to say a moment, but Gresham right back like a vulture. And again, Alexander pulls Gresham away. Gresham using his foot to keep the hold clasp in. That is amazingly done. Great body control by Jonathan Gresham.
Definitely, I would say Gresham right now wrestling a little bit of the smarter match. We've seen Alexander lose his cool a few times, and Gresham's been able to take advantage.
And we get a clean break as Alexander seeking solace into the ropes for a moment. But back to his feet, back to that striking game. Alexander playing to his strengths. Ooh.
You know what's better than somebody's strengths? A knee right to the face.
That's a strike, that's a strength.
I don't know how many knees you've taken to the face, but that'll knock you loopy. That'll knock you 3 ways from Sunday.
Gresham to the outside. He was able to avoid it the first time. And he does a second time. That's very well done. Again, Gresham knows nothing good for me out here. I got to get back in the ring. Now it's Alexander on top of the issue. Do you give a decided advantage to one or the other thus far?
Well, right now it's been a lot of back and forth. I will say Gresham's been a little bit better on the defensive, being able to counter a lot of Alexander's offense, and he's been doing the smart thing and staying away from the outside. As you mentioned earlier, a lot of not good things for Gresham on the outside. He's definitely going to want to keep this in the ring. I would say it's 51-49 maybe Gresham at this point. Why, are you looking for a piece of betting action?
No, not at all. But Gresham's looking for an escape. Alexander not giving him one. Suplex instead. Lateral press. Gresham slides up the shoulder. Alexander, now keep in mind, Gresham, the smaller man, it's going to take a lot out of him to repeatedly power out of Alexander's grasp.
And so you see Alexander right there. He's questioning the ref. I think he's getting a little bit off his game plan. Gresham might be in his head a little bit.
Well, Alexander can't get frustrated. He kept his composure long enough for victory at Super Indy 15, but if Gresham has his way, that technical skill could crown a new champion here tonight. But again, Alexander working on the limbs, working on the arm, the elbow, the hand. Does not want Gresham a chance to get that octopus stretch cinched in. Oof. Whoa!
Ooh.
Did not expect to see that out of Gresham.
That was awesome.
He diverted Alexander's attention and the officials and connected a bit low on Alexander. Now rolls him up, new champion. No. Could you imagine if that won the Super Indy title?
Well, I'm definitely going to give the advantage to Gresham right now. I loved it. That's what I want to see. I told you earlier. I like how he threw that little jab in there at RJ City and Dylan Bostic. They will hear about that. But that's what it's going to take to win the championship.
Reversal up and over. Gresham. Oh, down the knee.
See, there it is, like I mentioned earlier, being a little bit one step ahead of Josh Alexander.
Taking away that vertical base of Alexander, and Alexander is favoring that knee. Gresham has created a weak point, and now he zeroes in on it.
You just heard Gresham there. That's not sportsmanlike conduct. Makes a good point, by the way.
Well, I think Gresham fired the first shot there, quite literally.
And you mentioned earlier that neck injury, so Gresham has to have obviously had studied that. Smart wrestling.
Well, I feel like Gresham is getting a little bit too big for his britches at this point. Alexander into the rope. Gresham has to break.
Well, he's going to break something, all right. I'll tell you, maybe that Super Indy loss, maybe that affected him a little bit.
It could have.
You know, I mentioned earlier that we'll see what each man learned about the other, and right now I think Gresham learned a whole heck of a lot.
We've seen Super Indy change many men over the years. They don't come out the same way they go in. The arduous journey, 3 tough matches in one night. Sometimes you're in the ring for 30, 45, upwards of 60 minutes in one night. And that will certainly do its damage. That will take its toll on you, mind, body, and soul. Modified figure 4 by Gresham. Indian deathlock. If he can get the foot in the right position, can Gresham? Alexander trying to fight it, he can't. Gresham has the time-tested Indian deathlock in. And every time Alexander tries to break the momentum, the grip of Gresham, Gresham just relentlessly right back to it. Shoulders down. Gresham nearly pinned himself. Well, of course, Alexander's chops had a little bit to say about it as well, but again, a near fall.
And you'd have to think, if that were to be the case where that was the end.
Ooh.
Well, that's one way to get out of the hold. It doesn't always have to look pretty.
Not in the least, and certainly paid dividends for Alexander. That reach, that height advantage, paying off for Josh Alexander, the walking weapon. Gresham back to the knee.
It's a smart move. Power and size are negated when you're on your back. Also negated when you tear an ACL, which a few more of those, and Alexander could be having a rough day.
Pace quickens. Normally it's advantage Gresham, and there it was as well. Alexander went for a leapfrog, forgot about that knee for a moment, and the serious peril it was in. But what an adjustment! The roll through Gresham is down.
Well, I was going to say, as Gresham showed again, being the smarter wrestler, holding on to those ropes, Alexander able to counter.
Into the cover! No. Gresham barely able to bridge up and get the shoulders off the canvas.
And if nothing else, that will expel some of Gresham's energy.
Oh, without question. But testament to the neck strength of Gresham for being able to bridge up and keep his own shoulders off the mat.
Kind of wonder how that leg injury to Alexander right now is going to affect him.
Right back to the knee. And Gresham is aiming low. He's smart. You take it down, take a tree down on its foundation. And Alexander, gut wrench suplex. Alexander made that look effortless.
That may not have felt effortless. You saw him trying to shake that pain out of that leg, walking with a little bit of a limp.
That's sheer power, and that's adrenaline that is helping operate Alexander forward and onward in this matchup. And Gresham certainly the worse for wear as well, and Alexander.
It seems to be ticking him off more than anything else.
1 minute gone by. 1 minute gone by.
And we have a marathon-like environment here, 20-plus minutes of this Super Indy Championship matchup, and both men are still going hard and strong.
And that ring had to move about 2 or 3 inches as Alexander came into the corner. See there it is, that little bit of cockiness.
Oh! Well, whatever Gresham was reaching for, he dug down deep and found something. Oh.
Well, wait a minute.
Now Gresham is saying inner thigh.
That did look inner thigh.
That was close, though, and he has been focusing on the thigh and the knee, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but man, I don't know about that one.
And that's a smart move. He's attempting to give him a Charlie horse to...
Oh, low bridge. Alexander to the outside, lands on the knee again. Here comes Gresham, suicide dive. Oh! Alexander adjusted. Gresham bounced off the apron a second time. Oh, that was violent. It looked like a car crash.
I don't know how Gresham's going to get up after that. That's got to be it.
Good night. No. God.
How bad does Gresham want to win this and add the IWC Super Indy Championship to his resume?
You ain't kidding. A decorated career. Championships the world over, but never held the IWC Super Indy crown. That could all change in just a matter of moments, but man, what do you have to do to keep one of these men down?
Well, we've gone 20+ minutes and we're still trying to find that out. You know, I like that offense by Gresham, just trying to Charlie horse the leg. I think stuff like that's not going to make Josh Alexander very happy. As we just saw on the outside, that's not what you want. You don't want an angry Josh Alexander.
Not at all. Alexander. Man, this is physical. But you wouldn't want it any other way with the Super Indy title hanging in the balance. Gresham charges. Second time. Nowhere for Alexander to go. Gresham the head of steam. Drop kick connects. And Gresham out of nowhere with renewed life.
And we've seen these men go back and forth, back and forth. One of these men's going to have to go for something huge.
Alexander, God, wrenching that leg.
And that could be it. Just what I mentioned, that could be it.
That knee was wrenched across the outside of that ring cable.
You know, and there's no part of the body that's supposed to bend the way Alexander's leg just bent.
Alexander may be extremely hurt here. Oh, Gresham wrenching on the floor. Oh my gosh.
You know, we talked earlier about Gresham didn't want to be out there on the floor. Maybe he does. Maybe that's what it's going to take.
Well, the killer instinct of Jonathan Gresham is shining through at this point. Gresham does not care if he rips the leg right out of the socket of Alexander.
And see, there's a smart move by Gresham, breaking that count, keeping himself in the game.
Cannot win the title on a countout, that's for certain. And Alexander having trouble standing. He needs the ring apron to balance himself. Referee imploring these guys to get back in the ring. Oh, it just drop kicked the knee into the guardrail.
And those guardrails have no give. It's literally steel, no pun intended.
And Alexander is just doubled over in pain. He's just wincing, just uncomfortable look on his face.
Now, I don't know if you want to give Alexander that time to recover. You want to really go out there and take it to him. Obviously, Gresham getting his energy as well. Gresham's going to take the full advantage of that.
And the official reminding Gresham of the rules. You got to win the championship in the ring.
And I think Gresham's singular focus right now may be on avenging that loss. That seems to be extremely important.
Yeah, maybe just as if not more so than the Super Indy Championship.
Well, you know, losses can do a weird thing to a man's psyche.
To end up. Well, we are over 25 minutes deep, and this is the longest Super Indy title match I can remember in quite some time. Gresham able to catch Alexander, to hoodwink him a bit, so to speak, then caught him on the second attempt. Alexander having trouble standing on that knee. Gresham takes advantage with a crossbody. 2-0. My goodness.
Amazed that Alexander's even able to stand at this point.
Well, amazed Alexander, his entire leg is completely torn to pieces.
It may very well be. Obviously, Alexander trying to fight through that pain.
Gresham caught. Powerbomb, no! Hurricane Rana, Alexander sticks with it. Both men looking for leverage. Gresham on top for 2. Oh man, that was close.
And I'll tell you, that was really close. Gresham, I think, thought he had him. You saw that look on his face of just complete, utter disbelievement. Disbelievement, that's a word.
We'll go with it. But even still, either way, what an ultimate gut check for both these men to still be in the fight after nearly a half an hour of warfare. I'm in disbelief. I'm nearly stunned silent.
Boy, that'd be a blessing. And just you see the inside of that knee and thigh area.
Yeah, Alexander's going for blows to the chest, up around the neck area. Gresham focusing solely on that knee and that thigh muscle. The weaknesses he's created himself.
And for Alexander right now, even standing is pain. And there he is, he's going to the side of the head. See there, he heard me.
Series of open hand strikes. Oh, that one not so open. Roaring elbow. Spinning tombstone. That is an Alexander specialty. This matchup should be over, but Alexander landed on the knee, and that is preventing Alexander from getting the cover.
And I'll tell you, if he was able to get right over to Gresham, I think that could have been it. We see Gresham doing the smart thing. He's getting out of the way. I'm not totally sure if Gresham knew exactly where he was, but that was a smart maneuver.
Well, Gresham got a respite on the outside of the ring. Alexander getting one as well in the ring. Oh, this is an all-important point in this matchup as far as who's going to get to their feet first, who's going to strike first.
Alexander could kick Gresham to the outside and just let the referee count to 10, keep that championship.
Superplex coming up. Gresham tries to put the brakes on again. Keep in mind the knee. Keep in mind the damage done. It's going to affect the equilibrium, the balance, and the ability for Alexander to elevate Jonathan Gresham. And the knee was the ultimate deciding point. Very smart weakness. Gresham has been just neutralizing on throughout this matchup, and Alexander continues to fight.
And I don't know if that was couldn't tell if that was a punch or just a straight slap to the head.
Oh, got the superplex that time. Wait, shoulders down. Oh. Man, everybody's shoulders look down there. That could have been a tough decision. Gresham elevates Alexander. I'm impressed. Overhead, nicely done. Gresham gonna scale to the top.
And this could be it. I said earlier, somebody's got to go for something big. They got to take a huge chance, and that's what Gresham's going for right now.
Shooting star, nicely done. New champion, no!
I'll tell you, I got to give it to both men. I don't know how they're able to go. I don't know how Alexander's able to stand at this point.
Can you believe it? Oh my! What impact this late in the game! Put Alexander to his feet.
Uh-oh. You know, I mentioned earlier, Alexander seemed like he was getting frustrated, and I think he's at his breaking point right now.
We are over a half hour into this match, and these men just keep getting more and more pumped up. The adrenaline keeps coursing through these men's veins. Moonsault, Alexander stopped him. All tombstone, the spinning tombstone. The second one got it. Alexander on top. Alexander retains the championship.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world champion and still IWC Super Indy Champion, Alexander.
And I got to give credit to both men. Credit where it's due. Jonathan Gresham, Josh Alexander, an unbelievable IWC Super Indy title match. Joe, I'd love to stay and chat, but if you'll excuse me, I have business to attend to.
What an absolute war we have witnessed here between Gresham, Jonathan Gresham, and Josh Alexander, the Super Indy 15 final rematch. And man, it must feel like they went through a whole tournament. Over 30 minutes of war. But the walking weapon wins the war. Josh Alexander retains the Super Indy Championship in a Super Indy title match we will not soon forget. Respect from both sides, the embodiment of what Super Indy is all about. Alexander continues a so far dominant and impressive championship reign. From day one, entering the International Wrestling Cartel in December of this past year, Chris LeRusso has felt as though he is the heir apparent to all the fortunes and successes of IWC wrestling. The rich history of the Super Indy Championship, the rich history of the lineage of talent that has been through the doors over the years. Names like AJ Styles, CM Punk don't hold a candle to what Chris LeRusso says he's capable of doing. And he realized that destiny at the expense of Andrew Palace, who has been the victim of many uncomfortable and inappropriate attacks. It was LeRusso who sprayed isopropyl alcohol in the eyes of Andrew Palace. It was LeRusso who tried to end Palace's career a number of occasions. It was LeRusso who masterminded Bulk Nasty, putting Palace through a table after an event-long brawl that went across this entire building multiple times back at Wipeout a month ago. But LeRusso knows it's time to put up or shut up. Benjamin C. Steele will not be in the cage. Bulk Nasty will not be in the cage. LeRusso will live or die on his own ability as he enters the ominous structure against a man he has made life a living hell for throughout the entire year. An enraged scowl on the face of a man who's very devious, but very intelligent as well. He has a very dark side, but how dark do you have to go to survive a steel cage? LeRusso immersed in the steel for the first time, looking around and realizing what his fate consists of. The frenetic energy of Andrew Palace. Oh, wait a second. No time to even set the stage. Chris LeRusso on top of Andrew Palace in the early going as this matchup begins. Steel cage warfare. LeRusso versus Palace, one-on-one. And Palace has spoken online on our Facebook, our social media, and said, LeRusso, you're the reason I'm not the Super Indy champion. You're the reason that my career almost ended. This is the one thing I love, the one thing I've dreamt of, and it almost ended because of you. Palace has threatened and promised to end Chris LeRusso in this steel cage match, but I do realize that next to me is now a very uninvited guest, Bryan Bowers. What brings you to my table?
I'm sorry it took me so long to get here, but I had to make sure Justin Plummer included this in my pay for the evening through the excellent commentary service that I can provide. Only me. Only I can do this job. Because I've been in the ring with both of these men. And I gotta be honest with you, Chris LeRusso is a different man now. He walks around backstage aloof, not speaking to anybody. He's in his own world. He's in a world of focus.
Well, and he's ruined that focus of Andrew Palace. He went to the eyes, and keep in mind, the eyes are the weak part of Andrew Palace, even more so than normal, because of the alcohol to the eyes and the subsequent damage to those eyes.
If I could just interrupt, Joe.
Please.
I just want to say the weakness of Andrew Palace is everything compared to me. And he got lucky last time, and if I was in those cage with those men, it'd be a bloody mess. I can guarantee you that, Joe.
Well, it was Andrew Palace's damage to the eyes that is the reason he was eliminated in the Super Indy tournament. In the semifinal round as LeRusso tastes the steel, and this is not a $1 million cage. There are jagged edges of steel. There are protruding pieces of steel that will dig into your flesh if you hit it a certain way. And Palace is going to introduce LeRusso to each and every inch.
The way you're talking about that cage, Joe, are you trying to scare me? You think that scares me, that cage? I get in there with anyone.
Well, that's easy to say back here 35 feet, but once you get inside that cage, once you get inside that cage, it's an intimidating structure.
Wow.
And LeRusso has felt it a handful of times so far. Palace has come out explosive, not in a fun, frenetic way as usual, but to inflict pain and punishment.
He's a weird guy, a very weird guy in general, but this is the weirdest I've ever seen him. The most focused, the most driven.
Now, you've been in the ring with Palace before. You guys took each other to your respective limits many months ago.
Joe, I want to cut you off once again. I have no limits. I have unlimited potential, and I just realized that. Just tonight, I realized I may be, in fact, unstoppable.
Well, an unlimited amount of strikes from the head to the cage from Palace to LeRusso as BC Steel.
You can't take Chris LeRusso lightly. He will sneak up on you, just like that punch to the ribs right there.
Oh, certainly. And Palace with a shotgun drop kick.
Well, that's the one thing that's always on my scouting report for Andrew Palace. If you get hit with that missile drop kick, it's time to come back from that.
And Palace charges, connects with the full brunt of the impact. Second time, and LeRusso was sandwiched between the impact of Palace and the steel. And again, nothing that BC Steel or Bulk Nasty kendo stick and hand can do. LeRusso out of the way. Palace face first to the steel.
And as you can see, Joe, Andrew Palace is not the brightest guy in the locker room. He ran right into that fence. I haven't done that since I was a toddler, Joe.
LeRusso is focused. LeRusso is intense as now he reciprocates to Palace what Palace had done to him. And again, keep in mind, if you're Chris LeRusso, you feel that you are above Andrew Palace. This is your chance to prove what you've been just spewing from the mouth about for some 6, 8, 9 months now.
You know what, Joe? As I'm sitting here looking at these men, I see a lot of weaknesses in their game, a lot of weaknesses that I could exploit. If only Justin Plummer would pay me what I'm worth, I'd get in that cage and I'd show everyone how to get the job done.
Well, Plummer had told you at the outset that you had to work your way from the bottom, and certainly an impressive victory in your own right earlier on, but that's a story we'll pursue in the months ahead as LeRusso is trying to open up Palace, scraping the face across that steel.
Yeah, Joe, I really don't want you to go there right now. We're talking about this match. Focus on them.
And we're talking about two men who are bloodthirsty, two men who this grudge started about the Super Indy Championship, but has gone far beyond wins and losses, far beyond championships.
When I look in their eyes, Joe, I see hatred so pure that I've never seen before. This fight is going to get very messy, Joe.
Yeah,
I can guarantee you that.
The animosity is just absolutely off the page. Palace hits the buckle. LeRusso charges through. Nowhere for Palace to go there.
Palace is trapped. Chris has his sights now. Watch him. He's a winner, that LeRusso. He couldn't beat me, though.
LeRusso looking to escape.
He went for the eyes.
Yeah. Again, keep in mind, that's been LeRusso's go-to for so long now. And Palace really never took time off, really never rested his eyes, rested his body after the shot through the table at Wipeout as well.
Well, remember, when he got the alcohol in his eyes, Joe, that was right after he wrestled me. And I had to take so much out of him. He had to use every inch of his life force to overcome me. How could he defend his eyes?
As LeRusso looks to climb again, we have an official in the ring. We have an official on the outside, hopefully to ensure a clear and just winner. And what Palace charges into LeRusso, and both men are battling on the top rope near the edge of that cage. If somebody can make the leap over, another right to the eyes, and Palace hits the steel. And Palace returns the favor. Both men are teetering on that top rope. And Palace sends LeRusso crashing. And Palace has a chance to escape. Bulk Nasty on the outside to Palace. Oh, Palace wants to inflict more punishment.
You see, Joe, how Chris took that clothesline? I would have moved. And that's why they should pay me the big bucks.
Well, I don't know if it's quite that simple. He'd have moved if his legs were under him, I'm sure. But Andrew Palace wants the complete and total decimation of Chris LeRusso. Went for a knee strike, Palace caught it. Face first. And LeRusso. Back and forth center ring. Palace with the back fist. Triangle back suplex, LeRusso down. A curb stomp, a move that has been banned in many parts of this industry, totally legal in an IWC cage match.
I would never get Andrew Palace get that close to my head. Because this face needs to be on all the posters. It's money.
Well, money not the interest of Andrew Palace at this point. He signals high above. Bulk Nasty is on the outside with that kendo stick. And Bulk is going to make sure at all possible Palace is not able to climb down. Palace did not look like he had intentions of climbing down. LeRusso, I believe, went downstairs. Oh, no. Oh, God! And that steel cage is 15 feet above this arena floor, and Palace, with just reckless abandon, flung from the top of it straight to the canvas. LeRusso trying to pin Palace. Palace has not been attempting covers, but LeRusso wants to get the hell out of here. Got it, no.
The lengths these men are willing to go, you can only go there if you absolutely, specifically hate your opponent. I don't know where they're coming up with the energy to do these things. I know they wouldn't be able to achieve them on me, though.
Well, maybe we'll find out sooner than later. But LeRusso peppering Palace with rights. And LeRusso is very cerebral, but when he is pushed, he can be very, very dangerous. Maybe the most unconscionable athlete on the IWC roster. Jeez.
You're right. You should never push Chris. You should push me.
Well, Palace was nearly pushed through this cage. LeRusso maybe attempting the headlock driver. And Palace was elevated. There was no way to protect himself. His head was the very first thing to hit that canvas. And LeRusso's got this thing won. LeRusso, no! Palace gets the shoulder up. Just barely.
I gotta be honest, I didn't think he was gonna kick out of that one, Joe.
The resolve of Andrew Palace coming through. Well, that's the mistake of some who have faced Palace, is underestimating what he's capable of. Don't judge the book by its cover. Maybe LeRusso did at first when he first came to IWC, but he's found out that was a cardinal mistake.
Andrew Palace is really capable of looking like a jackass at any given moment.
Well, Palace pushes LeRusso off. Oh! And the headbutt caught him flush, right to the chest cavity. And both men are down. Both men fall from a great distance. And Palace edging over into the cover.
Joe,
Gotta
what do you think about the strategy of Andrew Palace doing a diving headbutt with an injured head? Do you think that's a risky move? I do. It's a move I would never take.
I think it's and we're sensing that pattern, certainly.
But remember, I'm protecting a much more valuable brain. I don't know what's going on inside Andrew Palace's head.
Well, I can tell you for sure it's revenge. Andrew Palace wants nothing but retribution, and that is risky, and it may have been a dumb maneuver. But at the end of the day, whoa. It's what Andrew wants to do to get revenge, and Bulk Nasty, 6'6", is climbing the cage, and Palace neutralizes him.
Palace is sacrificing his head right now, Joe. I don't think that's a good move, because if he gets blood in his eyes, he's going to be unable to see all the crafty little attempts at violence by Chris LeRusso. I would not advise getting bloody in this match.
Well, certainly not, but you can see why the cage was erected. Bulk Nasty tried to get involved. Now, what is this? Some sort of struggle. Palace's arms are bound together. And LeRusso with a thrust kick. Where in the world did that come from? I think BC Steel must have slipped something in when Bulk Nasty was creating a diversion, and now the kendo stick through the steel, and Palace is helpless.
Oh no, he's definitely gonna get it.
Oh, Palace tried to protect his head, but he could break his hand.
Look how he's hitting him in the back, in the chest. He's cutting off Palace's breath.
Oh, he's hitting him everywhere. This is...
Joe, have you ever been hit so hard in the chest that your heart stopped?
This is torture.
He's hitting him.
Oh.
Can't believe Palace got himself in this mess. I never would have got myself in this.
Oh, God. And again, that's the crafty LeRusso who came in with a diabolical plan. And Palace is going limp. Oh!
There's no doubt in my mind, Joe, that I would beat both of them. I'm seeing all the weaknesses in their game.
Well, it's not about you right now. It's about Palace spitting
Well, he can't even spit in his face the right way.
in a fit of defiance. And he's brought the worst out of LeRusso, who is a man incensed.
Joe, he's not going to be able to walk tomorrow. Look at the way Chris was deliberately striking that vertebrae.
Palace is motionless.
If he's able to stand right now, I'd be surprised.
Palace must have been hit at least 20 times with that kendo stick. Maybe more. What luck can you do, Chris? You proved your point. Pin the guy, get the hell out of the cage. Do something.
Joe, Chris is obsessed. He's been obsessed about destroying this man for so long now. You think he can just get it over with quickly? He's going to take his time and get his revenge, Joe.
Palace is quivering in pain, but trying to... Oh, my God.
Just like I told you, Joe.
That's a staple gun! No! Oh, Palace! A desperation maneuver!
Palace just confirmed what I always knew about him.
Yeah, Palace is a fighter. Palace is doing whatever he can, whatever it takes.
He's underhand, he's sneaky, and he's a cheat.
And Palace has the staple gun.
Chris fell for his act.
Oh, Chris got stapled. Palace just stapled LeRusso.
Oh my God.
Palace is choking LeRusso with the very ties that bind him. LeRusso is in agony. Staple in his head, being choked out. LeRusso taps. LeRusso taps.
Unbelievable.
And Palace wants to kill him. Palace won't stop. He'll have to be torn off of him. It wasn't about a victory.
Joe, I don't think Chris is going to be able to turn his head tomorrow. Look at the way he's wrenching on the neck.
Chris LeRusso has no idea where he is right now. But Andrew Palace knows exactly where he is. He knows exactly what he's accomplished. Palace has survived a hellacious steel cage war.
He definitely did. I learned a lot from this man. I learned that these men fight with vengeance, and it's why they're going to make mistakes if they ever get in the ring with me, because I fight for the dollar signs. I fight for the future.
Well, Mr. Bowers, I thank you for joining us. I'd love to see you meet one of these men sooner than later. Put your money where your mouth is. Without question, you've made a lot of brazen, bold statements.
Just put it this way. That match would have been over a lot sooner if I was in the ring. I would have decimated both men. Someone asked me if I'd like to be in a triple threat. I said, you know what? My name is Bryan Bowers, and I'm the only threat. I'm out of here.
Andrew Palace was the threat to Chris LeRusso tonight. And through months of alcohol in the eyes, being put through tables, being robbed of his championship and nearly his dream, Andrew Palace stands defiant and triumphant, victorious over the evils of Chris LeRusso. And we still got one more to go. DJZ, Dylan Bostic, somebody's gonna leave. Loser is gone from IWC, and that's next.
Saturday, August 20th, I say this is not just for the IWC World title. I say, DJZ, you're defending that title up against Dylan Bostic, and the loser leaves IWC Wrestling. The loser leaves Western Pennsylvania Wrestling for good. Get the reality now?
somebody's life will change forever. Swaggy D, the Justin Bieber of professional wrestling, Dylan Bostic, escorted by Raylyn, entered the International Wrestling Cartel not too long ago, beginning of 2015, if my memory serves. But in that short amount of time, several main events, Super Indy Championship reign, and through the course of this year, an unofficial claim to the IWC Championship. Trained by Rip Rogers, Dylan Bostic has been wrestling since he was a young teenager. It is all he knows and all he wants to do. But with the traveling lifestyle of a wrestler comes pomp, circumstance, glory, and fans. Bostic loves the material life. Bostic loves to be the center of attention. Bostic has shined brightly in the spotlight of IWC Pro Wrestling. But if unsuccessful tonight, he will have to pack up and start anew elsewhere. Two men more invested in this business, it will be tough to find than Bostic and his opponent. Many people peg Bostic as the future of this company. The man that will hold the IWC title in years to come. But will the face of this company in years hence change drastically based on the outcome of this night? When he was 16 years old, the man once known as Shima Zion, now DJZ, made the long drive every week from Chester, West Virginia to suburban Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania to train at the IWC's then training school, the Coalition of Competition. Shima became the only man to be an IWC Triple Crown winner, heavyweight, Super Indy and Tag Team titles. He transcended his IWC run into tours of Mexico, Japan, and a 5+ year running stint in Impact Wrestling. None of that would have been possible if DJZ did not first call IWC Wrestling home. DJZ does not know what it's like to be without IWC in his adult life. The last time DJZ was not affiliated with IWC, he was not old enough to drive a car. All that he knows may change.
This is the moment we have all been waiting for, live from the Big Time Sports Center here in Elizabeth, PA. It is time to get loud. It is here. Everybody right now, out of your seats, get on your feet. This is the main event of the evening for the IWC World Heavyweight Championship. In for the loser, bringing the IWC forever. To be contested inside this punch, 15-foot-high steel cage, where the only ways to win are pinfall, submission, or escape the cage. And now, your referee assigned to this contest, CJ Sensation. Introducing first, the challenger, accompanied by Raylyn from Indiana, currently on the Platinum World Tour, weighing 203 pounds. He is the Justin Bieber of professional wrestling. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Dylan Bostic! the three-time reigning, defending IWC World Heavyweight Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DJ.
No shortage of animosity exists between these two athletes. Ever since Dylan Bostic targeted and injured Jimmy Nuts, then targeted DJZ, targeted Jimmy Demarco, targeted everybody that means so much to this company for his own personal benefit to try to weasel his way into the IWC title picture, it worked. Bostic will either leave a champion or leave jobless. Same goes for DJZ. And again, both men have been all over this country and beyond, but they call this place home. The physicality is intense. This will not be a typical pretty DJZ matchup. This will not be a normal Dylan Bostic pomp and circumstance fest. This will be physical, this will be brutal. Justin LaVey has said, this is not about titles, it's about a takeover. It's about presenting IWC, quote, the right way. Which is certainly not the way that many of us agree with. LaVey's way is in many cases a selfish way. DJZ is the lifeblood of this company in the eyes of many. The air driven out of Bostic's body. Pinfall, submission, or escape the cage will win. Bostic sent for the ride. We have seen Bostic with a counter there. And DJZ elevates himself from the top rope, the moonsault. We have seen DJZ in a number of cage matches over the years, singles and tag. I believe he's contested for every championship inside the steel. And DJZ looks like he's going to ram the pretty facial features of Dylan Bostic straight into the steel. And DJZ with a jawbreaker. Back elbow. And keep in mind, LaVey and Wardlow are not around, but Raylyn is. And DJZ distracted in the early going. Bostic with swaggy D. Oh, he hit him high. Oh, that was so emphatic. He's got him, no. DJZ rolls to his side quickly. It frustrates Bostic, who may have gone for the coup de grace a bit soon. But this is going to be gritty and it's going to be in your face. Perhaps a throwback of cage matches of a bygone era. Oh. And a reversal. Back shot. DJZ able to counter. Able to connect, able to follow through. And just like that, at a fraction of a moment's notice, that's how quickly the tide can turn in a dangerous matchup like a steel cage. Bostic comes back, the back suplex, the lateral press, forearm into the face, but cannot put DJZ away. Hooks the leg that time, and now stacks him up but can't do it. Bostic is desperate to end this matchup to leave with the championship. He's not wasting time. He's not posturing as usual. Bostic is all business. Bostic with a variation of a bear hug, has him scissored. Has DJZ high, maybe going for a choke of some sort as part of a rear naked choke in. The body scissors is nearly clasped, doesn't have his legs crossed. Crowd willing on DJZ. DJZ was able to break the grasp of Dylan Bostic. But as woozy as DJ is, he attempts to climb. This may not be the wisest of maneuvers, but it's the instincts. All he knows is to win. It's what he's done his whole career. Oh, Bostic hard to the kidneys. Back suplex elevated style. DJZ is hurt. Bostic quickly into the cover. And a near fall. DJZ less than a second away from his IWC career ending. Bostic back to the rear naked choke. If DJZ passes out, this match will end. Bostic will win the title, and DJZ will lose his IWC career that is a couple of months away from celebrating a 12th anniversary as far as in-ring competition. In-ring debut October 04. Oh, down with a gutbuster. Bostic, trying to prove that DJZ is indeed the past and nothing but. Easier said than done. DJZ slides the shoulder up. We're seeing more of a ground game from Bostic than normal. Again, Ohio Valley Wrestling, Louisville, Kentucky is as old school as it gets. Danny Davis, Rip Rogers. They will twist and contort you. Every sense of the word. And Bostic has removed the official's belt. And it's completely legal. Oh. Just laying the leather into the back of DJZ, now into the front. As the welts, the red marks immediately form on the body of DJZ. Bostic is showing he will do anything to save his legacy, to save his job, and to be the man here in IWC. DJZ breaks the grip, but Bostic waiting with a drop kick. Bostic will use that belt to whip, to choke, to maim. And a very noticeable red welt across the back. Oh, DJZ's body is going to be 6 or 8 different shades of red and purple before we're done, if Bostic has anything to say about it. And there's no way you can protect yourself. Whatever part of you throw in the way is going to be victimized by the lashing. This is practically inhumane. And Bostic going to climb. The fate of these men's futures may rest with the ability of Bostic to get his balance and get over the top of the cage, but DJZ is there. Several kicks to the head as Bostic realizes there's still more fight in the first Filipino supermodel of IWC Wrestling. And that skin is already tender, it's already broken open from that belt, so every strike from Bostic is going to hurt that much more. Imagine just any kind of a cut, a bruise, any tender part of your body. You just bump it or knock it in the simplest way. It shoots pain up and down your body. Now imagine what DJZ is going through with Bostic attempting to seriously injure him. And back to the rear naked choke. The crowd is telling Dylan Bostic that he sucks. But unlike normal, there is no argument from Bostic. There's no debate about it. There's no who sucks now. Because again, the focus is firmly on the light at the end of this tunnel, which is job security and a championship. Neither of these men have been in a more important matchup in their independent wrestling careers. Crowd trying to intimidate or get under the skin of Bostic, but DJZ may be out. If DJZ's out, then it's a formality. If the arm drops a third time, DJZ's career will end, and he won't even be awake to realize it. No! And DJZ is able to gain his vertical base, able to turn inward to alleviate some pressure. Duck of the head. And, oh, Bostic waiting with the foot. Found room for one cocky gesture, and he paid for it. DJZ sends Bostic to the steel. And Bostic hit hard. The official is checking very carefully on Bostic to make sure that no damage has been done, at least none that will prevent this match from continuing, as DJZ is crawling to his feet any way he can, scowl on his face. Oh my God. And we talked earlier about DJZ and Bostic, as well as Palace and LeRusso. When you enter a cage like this, you can very easily catch a part of that cage in a bad way. A jagged edge sticking out, and it'll slice your skin. And that's what happened to Dylan Bostic as DJZ scents his blood and like a shark begins to pounce. There's a reversal. Oh, DJZ gets the foot up, and DDT connects. Cover. DJZ got him. DJZ beat him.
IWC World Heavyweight Champion DJZ.
Platinum blonde locks of Dylan Bostic have been stained crimson as a symbolic end to the Platinum World Tour, which has just been brought to a halt. DJZ is still the IWC champion. He retains his IWC championship and career. Dylan Bostic is gone. Dylan Bostic is fired. The LaVey Platinum World Tour Alliance is deceased.
Get some help.
Raylyn is crying for help. Raylyn is in shock.
Dylan is in a bad, bad way. But that's the sacrifice that he was willing to make for the sake of this match, for the sake of his career and what he believed in.
Bostic. Hey. I know you're not in the best state of mind right now, but hey, just relax for a second. Stay down, stay down. I know you just whipped me with a belt. I know I just busted you open. Kind of strange to see us just shake hands right there. Because let's face it, for the last few months, you've been kind of a dick. This might be a little karma coming back at you, but let me tell you all a fun fact. The reason Dylan Bostic even showed up at IWC in the first place is because of me. And it's because since the day I met you and saw you wrestle, I knew there was potential. If you could just get your attitude straight, I knew you could be one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Now you haven't carried yourself like I thought you were going to, but I'll say this. This might be your last match at IWC, but I know we're all going to be seeing you somewhere very soon. So the best of luck to you, Dylan. I hope this was a learning lesson. I just want to say one thing. You know, I might come off as a dick sometimes. But that's my game plan. I get inside of your heads, I get inside of people's heads like you, and that's why I'm one of the best wrestlers in the world, because I can get in people's heads like you. And the first night I met DJZ was right here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And ever since then, I've had the utmost respect for DJZ. But I'll tell you something, the first time I ever stepped in the ring with DJZ, I'm going to tell you this right now. He, if not, is the best wrestler in the world. Is definitely one of the best wrestlers in the world. And I can honestly say I had the pleasure of competing with DJZ. But you never know where I might show up in the future. But I definitely think that this match tonight put me on the map because I got to step in the ring with you, and I want to say thank you. Did you guys have a good time tonight? This is your first show. You see how we do things around here. We get crazy at IWC, and that's how it is every month at these shows. And I know some of y'all might have thought this was going to be the last time that you ever saw me. Well, you know what? I've been here at IWC since I was 16 years old, and I've seen a lot of people like Dylan Bostic who claim to be the future of IWC, the future of wrestling. I've seen these guys come and go over the years. But when you talk about the future of wrestling, there's been one constant, and he's standing in this ring! So it doesn't matter if it's TNA, if it's Arena Mexico, if it's right here in Elizabeth. This message goes out to anybody that wants to challenge that DJ. Bring it! I'm always ready for a fight.
The storied legacy of DJZ and IWC continues. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Cage Fury 2016, good night from Elizabeth.
USDJZ!